welcome back. I am Erin, the 2 Martini Stitcher, here on YouTube and Instagram, and this is my channel about cross stitch and knitting and any other crafty things that I do, but right now it's just cross stitch and knitting. I am so happy to be back. It is Monday, January 4th. January 4th, welcome 2021. Today, everybody is back to work and remote school, remote work, work from home, remote school, remote dance. And because 2020 is in our rear view, but some of our issues came with us, didn't they? It is Monday morning, not morning, like early afternoon. So tea today, no cocktail. Have a little afternoon tea. I am getting back into the swing of things. Back into the swing of regular floss tube. It's like I almost forgot how to do a regular floss tube. I did Flossmas back in December. There's a playlist if you want to, for some reason, go back and catch up on all of those. There is a playlist of all the Flossmas. So I recorded every day from the 1st to the 24th, and then did a whip parade the last week of December. So if you're up for a movie and seeing all of my projects, the whip parade is posted. But now we're back for just regular floss tube updates. So today I've got some works in progress to show. I don't have any finishes, but I have works in progress, both cross stitch and knitting. We'll talk plans, what I'm thinking stitching wise and planning to do in 2021. And I have a tiny little bit of haul/acquisition, a couple things that came in the past week. And then we'll do giveaway at the end. Little bit of administrative work here at the very beginning. All the Flossmas giveaways have been drawn. So I did all the drawings for all of the 24 days of Flossmas. All of the winners, I replied to their comment. I am going to put a little graphic in right here. So that shows all of the winners for every day, but I did respond to them. So hopefully if you were one of the winners, congratulations, you saw that, and things will be mailed out this week. Things will be going out this week. So thank you to everyone who was here and participated in Flossmas with me and hung out. It was really fun. I very much enjoyed that. And then the last 2 weeks of the month, kids were off school. Husband took the 2 weeks off work, and we just had lots of wonderful family time and games. And now I'm ready to get back in the groove. We're back in the groove, back to a routine. Holidays are always fun. Always good to get back to the routine. So let's start with what I've been working on the past week or so. In December, I did whip wranglers with semi-sane stitchers. So I was showing that through Flossmas, and I finished that up. I did not pull out all of the whips that I was finishing up towards the end of December. So these are just the things that I've been working on since like Thursday, Friday of last week. So first things first is full coverage project. Full coverage projects are back. They're back out and in rotation. And this week I pulled out Farewell to Anger. You'll see it features prominently in some 2021 plans. So here is where I got to on Farewell to Anger. Essentially what I'm showing y'all is anything that's not whip wranglers that I worked on since Whip Parade last week. So this is where I got to. So I started at the top of this diagonal and I'm coming down to the bottom of it here. So this has gotten some good work. I've been working on this every day in January. And I'm going to go back to a regular full coverage rotation. So this is getting a few extra days because the first was a Friday. But this will be out all this week until Sunday. And then I'll switch out for Harry Potter book covers. So there we go. So this is Farewell to Anger. I should show the cover sheet in case anybody's new here. If you're new here, welcome. Hope you like what you see and stick around. But this is a Heaven and Earth design. This is not a mini or super size. It's just the regular chart, regular colors of Farewell to Anger, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I'm stitching that on a 25 count, easy grid, easy count Lugana, 1/1 full cross. So that is Farewell to Anger. I'm so happy to have the full coverage pieces back out. It's been really fun to get back to Farewell to Anger. I've missed it. Okay, next up is a little unexpected last new start for December, and that is this little chart that is a Patreon exclusive from Ink Circles, Alicia's Olives. This is hashtag Pimento Loaf Sal with Michelle Bendy. Not sure Michelle has started hers yet. That's fine. Any of you who are Patreon members of Tracy Horner, join in. I'm stitching this. The reason we started the Pimento Loaf Sal was I had posted a picture and it included this, which is my little Ort jar pincushion that sits next to my stitchy spot. This chart is Autumn Pennies by Shakespeare's Peddler, and it was in the fall Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. So I had stitched this up and made myself this little pincushion Ort jar, and Michelle and I were chatting and I said I wanted to do this chart in wintry colors. This matches actually my decor pretty well and could stay out all year. But I was thinking it might be fun when Tracy Horner of Ink Circles released that Patreon chart. I thought, oh, that could be fun to do as a lid in like wintry colors. And she said, oh, I want to do that too, Pimento Loaf Sal. And yes, of course. So here is where I am at on mine. I've just been picking at this a little bit here and there when I have a few extra minutes to stitch, because it'll stitch up really quick. This is on 32 count white opalescent linen, and these are the colors that I am using. So they're all in my spreadsheet. If you ever have any questions about any of my whips, there's a link to my whip spreadsheet in the description box, and it has all the information there. I just picked some pretty blues and purples, and I think it's coming out really well. It's really, really fun. So I've just left this out and have been picking at it because I think it'll finish up in the next week or so, and then I can switch it out. So that's the first project I've been working on. Next is Hello Dear by Caterpillar Cross Stitch, and I don't have a cover sheet that shows the full thing. This is a stitch along with a mystery stitch along. It was a mystery. It's all released now with Caterpillar Cross Stitch. The pattern and kit is all still available, and this is where I am. So I'm getting really close to a finish on this, and my goal is to have this done by the 25th of January, because on the 25th, Sally at Caterpillar Cross Stitch, her next mystery stitch along starts on the 25th, and I'm doing that one as well. So that one's called Made to Create. I'll stick a picture of the kind of teaser photo from Sally here. So that's Made to Create. It's a craft theme stitch along, and it's gonna be really fun colors. I'm super excited about it. If you want to join in on that, I have a code for you. So I'll put the link below to the website where you can get either the full kit or just the PDF version, and like for just the patterns, so nothing has to be mailed to you. And if you use Martini 10, then you get a discount. And this was my first time using one of Sally's kits. She sent me the whole kit for this, and I will say, look, I'm almost done. I have the deer left to go, grass, and then there are presents charted here, but I'm going to put one of these pine cones, so it's more wintry and less Christmassy. So there'll be a pine cone on the ground. So there's not much left. And look how much floss is still left. I mean, I still have to do some of the green at the bottom, but her kits come with, that's always my concern with a kit. I don't know what the dog is doing. I'm so sorry. That's always my concern with kits, is that I always worry about how much floss, like I'm going to run out, and no worries. Great. Anyway, here's my progress. I'm super excited about how this is coming out and almost done, and I can't wait to have it hanging up. Not much longer now. I'm hoping this will be a finish next week. We'll talk more plans later, but this was my chosen whip in Semi-Sane Stitchers. I'm doing Choose My Whip this month, and this was the clear favorite of the voters for Choose My Whip. So I'm really hoping that that's going to be, when I see you next week, that will be a finish. Hello, dear. Okay. Also, in Semi-Sane Stitchers, they have an event, a year-long event called Alpha My Bet. And this year, the idea is that you would pick an ABC sampler, and every 2 weeks, the letter will change. So started with A on the first, and then in 2 weeks, it'll switch to B. And the idea is that you stitch that letter in the sampler, in the alphabet sampler, during that 2 weeks. And at the end of the year, we'll have a completed sampler. So I wanted to get in on this. I thought it'd be really fun. And so I chose Christmas Sampler 2 by Cottage Garden Samplings. And there's a Christmas Sampler 1 that's a little different, but I really like this one. And so I started on my A. And I am stitching this on a 36 count linen in granite by Be Stitch Me. And I'm using, I think, all called for colors. There's a few overdyes and a bunch of DMC that I haven't even put on bobbins yet. I will when I get to them. And this is where I have gotten to. Advent. So I have the Advent all done. I mean, I think that this would really probably do it if I didn't want to do any more for this 2 weeks. So I got Advent in and some snowflakes. My plan, though, is to get this bird done before we switch to Belle, because I just feel like I have a little more time at the beginning of the month than I do at the end of the month. I have more things slotted in plans, so I'm gonna try to get this bird done in the next week as well. So you're gonna be seeing this all year. All year you're gonna be seeing Christmas Sampler 2, and then by the end of the year it should be all finished. So that'll be fun. Okay. One last start, and it's a biggie. It's a biggie. This was my New Year, New Start. And I started Pandemic by Long Dog Samplers. So when Julia Line put this out for free during the very first kind of quarantine shutdown, I grabbed it. I wasn't ready to start it then, but it just felt like the perfect New Year, New Start. So I put the first couple stitches in right at midnight before I went to bed on New Year's Eve, and then worked on it on New Year's Day. So Pandemic. I am stitching this on a 36 count pearl gray linen, and I am using these gorgeous silks. Got a hank of silk from Mrs. Sadis, and this is Darling Blue. And I'm going to do the bulk of the stitching in that, and then I'm going to do the animals in Mrs. Sadis Black. So that's the plan. I only worked on this on New Year's Day. I'm hoping to work on it maybe a little bit more this coming week, but here is, there we go. The light went blue for a little bit. There's my start. It is showing more blue. Camera's having a problem with white balance on that gray fabric. But there is my start, which doesn't look like much, but it's a decent amount of stitching. So there we go. That is my start on Pandemic. It's gonna be a while before this one's finished. This is a custom cut. I have 3 inches of border, but it's a start. There's a lot more stitching to do, but I'm very excited because this is my very first long dog sampler of this style, and very excited to stitch it. So that is Pandemic, and it's in this bag from Linux Stitches. Sent this to me because she said the fabric reminded her of me, and I needed a big old bag, and honestly, gonna need some drinks to get through this. Okay. The reason I was pointing out Lynn's bag, I saw on Instagram that she is doing, I will link her Instagram below. She's gonna do like a mystery bag set every other month or like quarterly or something like that. Anyway, she has fantastic bags, and I love that this one is big enough to fit that big old whack of fabric and all that beautiful silk. That I managed to undo the hank and get it all cut up without making a big old mess. So, yay. That alone felt like a win. Okay, so that is all of the stitching whips, works in progress. I left my Pandemic cover sheet out. I better put that away. So let's talk stitching plans, and then I'll show knitting whips because I don't really have any knitting plans. Knitting is new enough to me that that's by the seat of my pants, but cross stitch is meticulously planned. So my planner is back and updated for 2021. This is the same, just cover. So this is Happy Planner covers and disc binding, same ones I had last year. I just took out all of the 2020 stuff and put in 2021. So it is the 24 Hours of Cross Stitch Planner by Jen Lee, Quirks and Stitches. I'll link her below, and her shop where you can get it. I got the base planner and then also some of the calendar add-on. So overall plans for stitching for 2021. As far as challenge groups go, I thought long and hard about this because I seriously contemplated getting back into School of Magical Stitches and Literature, mainly because they're doing Lightning Thief. They're doing some of the Rick Riordan books this year. They are my oldest daughter's favorite books, and I've never read them. So I seriously contemplated jumping back in, but in the end, I decided that I could just read the books. And with everything going on, with all the other groups and challenges I wanted to do this year, I didn't want to try to be posting in too many places, is really what it came down to. So this year, I'm going to be doing Whip Go 2021. I'll show you my board and we'll talk about Whip Go in a bit. I'm going to be participating a little in Full Coverage Fanatics and Semi-Sane Stitchers. So those are the three groups that I'm going to be mainly kind of organizing my stitching around. So first, Full Coverage Fanatics, they're doing a 21 and 21 kind of focus challenge. So the idea being that you do pick, I'm not even sure you have to pick one project now that I think about it. I only picked one project, and you do 21,000 stitches in that full coverage project in 2021. So I chose Farewell to Anger for that. And in order to accomplish that, you need to do an average of, I said like 60. I think it's like 57.5 or 58 stitches a day, which really doesn't sound like that much. Like no problem, right? Until you miss a day or two or three, and then they start to add up. Also, I'm also going to want to be working on Harry Potter book covers, and I'm going to be rotating them in and out. So when I'm working on Farewell to Anger, my goal each day is a minimum of 120 stitches to try to keep up with 20 and 21. So that's big. That's kind of a big stretch, but I'm excited to focus some on Farewell to Anger this year. It was my new year, new start last year. And I did just shy of 2 pages last year. I kind of really wish I'd gotten some more in. So that's Full Coverage Fanatics. I'm not doing bingo with them this month. I only have the 2 full coverage pieces. So we'll see how much other events I do in Full Coverage Fanatics, but for sure I wanted to commit to the 21 and 21. Then in Semi-Sane Stitchers, I don't know, like month to month. I know some people have planned out what events they're doing all year, but I'm kind of just taking it month to month. This month, they have a focus piece challenge. So Farewell to Anger is my focus piece challenge for Semi-Sane. And then I'm also doing Choose My Whip. So every week you put pictures of 2 or 3 whips up, and everybody gets to vote on which one you're going to focus on. Hello Dear is mine for this week, and we'll see what comes next week. And then also Nerdapalooza. So I believe it's a non-counting event where you work on like your nerdy whips. So that'll be Harry Potter book covers. And then Whip Go is the brainchild of Jessie Marie. There's a Facebook group. I'll link all these Facebook groups below. But essentially the idea with Whip Go is you make up yourself a little bingo looking board, and you pick 24 or 25 projects. You can use the middle as a free space, which I am. So I have 24 projects on mine, and you set goals for yourself. There's not really any rules. You pick the projects, you pick your goals. And then Jessie calls 2 numbers every month that those projects have then been called. And when you hit the goal and it's been called, you can check it off and get bingos on your bingo board. So here is my Whip Go board. So you can see this month, the projects are Cinnamon Stars that were called as Cinnamon Stars. I have that slated for a finish. All of my goals are yearly goals. So that's not what I want to do necessarily in January, but by the end of the year, I would like to have Cinnamon Stars finished. So all my goals are yearly goals, but what was called this month is Cinnamon Stars and Zimmerman Coverlit. And my plan is I will focus on those projects in the month that they're called. So Cinnamon Stars will probably go up in Choose My Whip, and hopefully get chosen for Choose My Whip, and same for Zimmerman Coverlit. I put all of my large projects on the Whip Go board with the goal of working on them for 12 days over the course of the year. So you can see I have Christmas Sampler 2 up here for a finish. That'll keep me focused on that throughout the Alpha My Bet Challenge. Farewell to Anger. This said 4 pages because I had lost my mind and pulled that out of my rear. I have now amended this in the actual spreadsheet to say 21,000 stitches because it made more sense for me to align that with the Full Coverage Fanatics. Harry Potter book covers, I have book 3 and 4 as my goal. Seems a little ambitious, but gotta go big. And then I picked some 2019 whips that I would like to see finished this year. Mill Hill Kit Latte, Playing with Jacks, Cinnamon Stars, and then, so those are the 3 2019 projects that I really want to see finished by the end of the year. Then we move into all of my large projects that are getting 12 days. And then I put a couple series on here that I want to get done. Laundry Company, I have 1 more of that. French Kitchen Collection, I want to finish at least 1 more of those charts. Long and Winding Road, I would like to finish. And I'm going to work on that today because today is Becca Sambry Stitch's birthday. Happy birthday, Becca! Hey, and she's doing a Blackbird birthday sal. So work on any Blackbird design for her birthday. So I'm going to work on Long and Winding Road. And then one of the Chalk Talks I'd like to get finished. And then my Christmas list, I'd like to get finished. That's actually also a 2018 start, but this is going to be my Merry 25 stitching all year until it's done. So that is WIP Go. And for me, where it says 12 days, I consider a day of work a minimum of 2 hours. So if I pick it up and only work on it for a half hour, that doesn't count as a day of stitching. So that's WIP Go. So those are the challenge groups I'm in. I'm also going to continue to work on the pieces that I kind of have slated in every month. They're assigned a specific day of the month, as well as I'm also going to continue to work on WIPs on their birthday. And I do that just so that everything gets touched at least once a year, and I can see if I still love it and want to keep it. I don't have any, other than Farewell to Anger, which was my New Year, New Start last year, I have no projects with a January birthday. So it feels like a good month to get some good work in on WIP Go projects, and also start the year off maybe with some finishes. Although I do have a few more new starts planned. So we'll see all those as they come up. Oh, so this coming week, plans for the next week. Okay, plans for the next week is choose my WIP. So I really want to get Hello Dear finished. I would like to get the pimento loaf sal finished, so maybe a couple finishes next week, and some more Farewell to Anger, and we'll see what else. We'll see what else calls to me. I'll work on Long and Winding Road today for Becca's birthday, but other than that, I don't have anything on the schedule. So maybe I'll pick up Cinnamon Stars or Zimmerman Coverlet too this week. We'll see. We will. This week will be a little sweet, which I kind of always like. Stitch what you want when you want. Okay, you want to see some knitting? I did do some knitting over the past couple weeks too. All right, so the first project I have is this cowl that I've been working on that I do not have a picture of. I don't have a picture of it, but it's called a Very Brady cowl. I will have a link to I have a spreadsheet for the knitting WIPs too. Of course I do. Of course I have a spreadsheet. There's a spreadsheet for everything. And that will be linked below as well. And then I'll have the designer info on it. I am knitting it in this worsted weight yarn from, it's a Malabrigo yarn in the colorway Tormenta. So it's their Rios weight. And it is, I love this. This is a dream to knit with. It feels so nice. And here is my progress. So this is the last time I showed it, which I think was on a Flossmas video, was all the way down here. So it's got these big cables. It's got these really, this is my first time doing cables, and it's got these big cables, and it's just going to be a really tight kind of cowl. I think I'm about halfway. I don't know, I'd have to weigh the yarn. You pretty much just do the repeat over and over and over again, and then it'll get seamed. But it is so soft and squishy, and this yarn is knitting up so pretty, and the cables are really kind of fun. The cables are really kind of fun. I'm kind of liking doing cables. So that is, I'm going to move my little progress marker up now. I only have 2 knitting WIPs. For those of you who have been around for a while, my grandmother got the shawl and she loved it. She was thrilled with it. I was so happy that she liked it. So that was very well received. So I only have these 2 WIPs now. So I'll put that progress marker up here. These little stitch markers are from Fangirl Fibers. I'll link her below. They are Great British Baking Show themed. So butter. And on your mark, get set, bake. And this one is from Stitching the High Notes. So I'll link her below too, because I love her bags. All right, so that's the first knitting WIP. And then the second one is the socks. They're coming along, y'all. I feel like I'm gonna have a pair of wearable socks here pretty soon. So I'm working them both kind of at the same time. I'm kind of chasing one from the other, but here is the first sock, and look, I turned a heel, and look, it came out nice. Like, I feel good about that. So I turned the heel on this one and I'm backed in the round. So all I have left to do is however much on the leg. I think maybe a couple inches and then a cuff. And then that one will be done. And these are being stitched in Knit Picks yarn. They're self-striping sock yarn Felici and Captain Nemo. And then on the second one, I am almost to the heel. So I have like 2 stripes left. I have this one and one more. And then, ooh, when I get close to the camera, that gets really blue. So I have this stripe and one more, and then I'll be ready to turn the heel on this one. So I've been working up the foot on this. So I turn the heel here, and then I've been working up the foot on this one. And then when I turn the heel on this one, then I'll do the leg and cuff, and then leg and cuff. And hopefully they fit and are wearable. It's been really fun. I have been following CC Java Pearl Designs. She's CC Java Pearl on Instagram. She also has a Flosstube with her kiddo Dammy, which is Geeky Girls Knit and Cross Stitch. I'll link her Etsy and Instagram and YouTube below. So I've been following her vanilla latte, vanilla cappuccino sock pattern, and it's great. Toe up, really easy to follow, and Cece is also a doll, and she has lots of great sock patterns. My youngest is very excited that I may be about done with these socks, because then she wants me to do a pair of Cece's pattern called Chai Latte. It's a really fun looking sock pattern. So then hopefully I will be, you know, enough of a sock pro that I can do something with a pattern. It'll be fine. Okay, so that's knitting. We've talked plans, we've shown whips. I feel like this is going pretty fast, but I think it's because it's just beginning of the year. We're just starting out. Okay, so a little bit of haul. What's come in the mail? Only a few things. I've only had a few things come in the mail. First up is from Crazy Annie's Stitching. I get the, I think it's called Fluff and Doodads Club. It's every other month, I believe. Every other month? I think that's right. And it's finishing. It's a little finishing kit with Lady Dot Creates and Moda fabric. And it usually has like a color scheme. I'm going to open this up so you can see what this all is. And this is called Old Sterling Tea Service. Is kind of the color. So it's based off of this fabric. So there's always like enough fabric, you know, to finish off a small. This is maybe a hint that I should get to finishing. My youngest was kind of busting me the other day about having a drawer full of finished stitching that is not fully finished. Okay, so fabric, and then it's got a couple trims and chenilles in gray. That's pretty. In these grays, which is honestly like my favorite neutral. I love to stitch on gray. I love to finish with gray and white. And then there's a pretty little flower button. These are really pretty. These pretty little like crystal flower buttons. And a little pretty little pin. You stick in your pin cushion. And then it also came with this like white marking pencil. It's a pastel chalk. I'm assuming for like marking for sewing. Yes, I think that's what that's for. I think if you're a sewer quilter, you're probably saying, yes, Erin, that is what that is for. So that's really fun. I was waitlisted for that club last year and then got in right at the end of the year and was able to sign up for this year. I do not know if there are still spots, but you can check out Crazy Annie's. I will link Crazy Annie's Facebook page below. So that's really fun. And then the only other thing I got was a bag from So Much to Love. And I think it was when I had gone to Karen's shop to link her up in show notes. And while I was there, I thought, oh, I'll just peruse the clearance section. That's always a little dangerous. However, this was on sale and I couldn't resist it because who doesn't need more Christmas bags? Look at that. Look how cute. They're little foxes with scarves. And it's not even really Christmassy. It's wintry, which I love. So could be used for Christmas projects. And then the inside is a little like white on white snowflake pattern. So that came from So Much to Love. It's been a long time since I bought a bag from her outside of the bag of the month. So that's it for mail this past week. So let's do giveaway. Let's get back to regular giveaways. And this week I'm going to give away 2 charts because I've been gone for a little while since Flossmas. And also these were sent to me by Deanna of Darling and Whimsy Designs. So if you are a channel member, I have my YouTube channel set up so that you can join it. There's a join button below. If you go to that, there's a little video that kind of explains the different tiers and what that's all about. But as a kind of fun end of the year thing, I gave all of the channel members one of Deanna's Quirky Quaker designs. Deanna has this series. I think there's 6 or 7 of them now. She has a whole bunch more ideas for it. It's a really fun series of these little quirky Quakers. They're animals that you don't normally see in a Quaker design, and I love them. And they're all small. They're like 43 by 43. But I gave each of the channel members one of the Quirky Quakers, and we're going to sell it together starting on the 16th. So if you want to join in, I don't have the hashtag yet. It might even just be Quirky Quaker Sal. But I thought I would give away. Deanna also sent along these for me to give away to the regular channel members. So this is sponsored by Deanna. I'm going to be giving these 2 away. I have 1 reindeer and 1 hedgehog. And then all the channel members got one as a gift for me. So you can sell along with us. Or if you have one, do you have one of her Quirky Quakers that you have not started yet? Join us. So we're going to do that starting on the 16th. And these are small. They'll stitch up real quick. If you've been around here long enough, you know I think everything's going to stitch up really quick. But these really will. These really will. So if you would like to have one of these, if you want to stitch the reindeer, let me know. Use the word reindeer. I want to stitch the reindeer or hedgehog. You can use both. If you would be happy with either, you can use both hedgehog and reindeer in your comment. Please be over 18. Do not say giveaway. And in order to win a giveaway for me, you have to have filled out my Happy Mail Google form. It's in the description box below. It's one of the very first. It's up at the very, very top. When I was pulling winners for the Flossmas giveaways, a couple times, the first person that I pulled had not filled out my Happy Mail form. If you haven't filled it out, I can't send you anything. You only have to fill it out once, just one time, and then I have your address and you can get a giveaway from me. So next week, I'll pull a couple winners for these Quirky Quakers and I'll get those right out so that you can join us in the stitch along on the 16th. Okay, that's all I have. I hope everyone had a good end to the year of 2020. I hope you were able to take some time off and get some rest, and we can come into 2021 recharged and ready to go. I am excited for another fun year of stitching with y'all. So until next week, cheers.